Narendra Modi is going to be filing his nomination papers from the city of Varanasi. Remember, this is the second seat that he is contesting from. In this election, it has become the political ground zero. Arvind Kejriwal filed his nomination yesterday. Today, it is believed to be a mini India show, a massive road show, a massive show of strength for Narendra Modi in the temple city of Varanasi. And Gaurav Sawant is joining us live from Kacheri in Varanasi. Gaurav, take over and take us through what's happening today.
Thank you, Maruk. Hello and welcome to a Headlines Today special broadcast that comes to you from the holy city of Varanasi. This is the city where Ganga flows north, and this is where Narendra Modi says, the BJP's prime ministerial candidate Narendra Modi says, let Kashi bring the winds of change. And that is a Headlines Today special broadcast that we bring to you on a day that he files his nomination. As Maruk was just telling us, this city has been decked up. It's a massive show of strength for the Bharatiya Janata Party, not only because the prime ministerial candidate is filing his nomination from here, but because of the impact the BJP hopes to have not just in Purvanchal but also in adjoining Bhojpur. This is the helipad of the Banaras Hindu University, and around me you can see there is hectic activity on. An effort is being made to clear this helipad, to clean this helipad for the BJP's prime ministerial candidate Narendra Modi. He will land at the Lal Bahadur Shastri International Airport here at Varanasi. Then he takes a helicopter, he'll land here at this helipad and then drive all the way up to the entrance of the Banaras Hindu University, where he'll garland the statue of Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya, the founder of the Banaras Hindu University.
Modi will be driven down to the main Lanka gate of BHU for the first ceremony.
The famous Lanka gate of the Kashi Hindu Vishwavidyalaya or the Banaras Hindu University, and this is the statue of Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya that the BJP's prime ministerial candidate Narendra Modi will garland.
The next stop, Mahatma Gandhi Kashi Vidyapeeth for another ceremony and the start of the roadshow.
Though the distance from the Lanka gate to this place in Maldaya is not much, but Narendra Modi will take a helicopter from the Kashi Hindu University to the Gandhi University right behind me and then walk up to this point here. He will garland Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel's statue, and the road show for nomination in the right earnest will start from here.
The road show will cover a distance of around 3.5 kilometers and will be a show of strength for the BJP. On the way, another ceremony at statues of Swami Vivekananda and Babasaheb Ambedkar.
The road show and rally will be a show of strength, not just for Kashi but for entire Purvanchal, at the end of which the followers will stop here. Narendra Modi and those nominating him will cross this barricade and file Narendra Modi's nomination from Varanasi. With cameraman Yogendra Singh, Gaurav Sawant in Kashi for Headlines Today. Now, both Arvind Kejriwal and Ajay Rai say this will not be a cakewalk for Narendra Modi. They are in the fight, and this will be a battle for everyone to reckon with. Now, who are the contenders here? Well, it's Ajay Rai of the Congress party, and he's been campaigning extensively in the rural areas here. He also has a sizable following in the Bhumihar community. Apart from Ajay Rai, it is of course Arvind Kejriwal. There was a big show of strength when Arvind Kejriwal filed his nomination here. There's also Kailash Chaurasia of the Samajwadi Party. Both Ajay Rai and Kailash Chaurasia are saying we are Dharti Putra, or son of the soil, and this is Dharti Putra versus an outsider. So as that report of Preeti Chaudhary points out, Modi is a front runner, but this clearly is no cakewalk. Varanasi, if we were to talk about this holy city, this is being decked up completely to welcome Modi. Now, when he lands at 8:30, he first goes to the Banaras Hindu University, then he garlands the statue of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, Swami Vivekananda and Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar. And there is symbolism in all of this. How is Kashi being decked up to receive Narendra Modi. Let's take a look.
Yagnas for a smooth road show. Imported Chinese lanterns in Banaras for good luck. Sartorial salesmanship, and for those that can drop the moolah, made to order band galas to show their support. The vermilion hues of Banaras taking on a more saffron tone as Modi fever grips the entire constituency, eagerly awaiting the BJP's poster boy. Businessmen milking the poll season effortlessly as they slip good after good to eager supporters who are desperate to show their solidarity. Praying for no hiccups, this group of supporters have ensured all bad omens have been warded off as they conduct rituals counting stars.
नरेंद्र भाई मोदी के इस नामांकन पर्चे के लिए पूरे महाप्रभु पूरी रात्रि पूजा करके ये अपने प्रभु से प्रार्थना करेंगे कि वो इस पर्चे में ही नहीं पूरे इस कार्य में सफल होंगे और प्रधानमंत्री बनेंगे.
Allies are not the only ones who want to ride on the Modi wave. The more fervent moneyed supporters want to go surfing too and are willing to drop a whopping 4,000 rupees just to show support.
ये जैकेट जिस तरह का नरेंद्र मोदी का लहर चल रहा है पूरे बनारस में क्या पूरे भारत में चल रहा है उस हिसाब से जैकेट उनके हिसाब से बनाया गया और बहुत ही सुपर लग रहा है. हमें लग रहा है जैसे उनका क्रेज बढ़ रहा है, जैकेट का भी क्रेज उसी तरीके बढ़ेगा.
Creator of the suave Bangala, Dhaval Prakash, shrewdly disbanding all other orders until results are announced.
मुझे लगता है कि 12 तारीख तक हम लोगों को बाकी सारे काम छोड़ करके सिर्फ ये सदरी में ही पूरा कंसंट्रेशन करना पड़ेगा.
As the voters eagerly await a show like never before, win or not, these men have positioned themselves perfectly for skyrocketing sales. And support or not, the Modi wave seems to have injected more frenzy in an already robust Varanasi. Bureau Report, Headlines Today.
And this frenzy has to be seen to be believed. When you travel across Kashi, this entire city is decked in saffron. You have youngsters coming out on the streets chanting the Modi slogan. Roads that hadn't been built for the past 1 year have been laid, have been tarred overnight. And there's a particular stretch on which Narendra Modi will be traveling. And that road was tarred from 9 p.m. last night till 5 this morning. Work was on that stretch of the road so late at night, and that's the road that leads to Kachehri, where we are at this point of time. On the other side of a short break, we'll take you to Headlines Today's Preeti Chaudhary, Ankit Tyagi, and we have our reporters who fanned out across Kashi to bring you up to speed with the latest on Narendra Modi's nomination. We'll also tell you about Narendra Modi's vision for Kashi. What is he promising the people of Kashi? Let's now talk about the significance of this seat. Kashi has 16 lakh voters, but this isn't just one of the 80 seats of Uttar Pradesh. This is extremely significant because it impacts not just 27 seats in the Purvanchal area, it also impacts the Bhojpur area or parts of Bihar. That's one part of the story. The second part of the story is that Narendra Modi can send a message, if he wins from here, that he can win outside Gujarat. BJP sources tell Headlines Today he also intends to retain Varanasi for that bigger impact on Uttar Pradesh. Let's now take a look at why Kashi is so important for Narendra Modi and for the BJP.
For its sheer imagery and symbolism, it's hard to beat the holy city of Varanasi. With Vadodara in his home state a safety net, Narendra Modi bets big on this sprawling spiritual haven on the Ganga's banks.
Bharat Mata Ki! Hara Hara Modi!
By choosing Varanasi and sparking a high-profile contest, Modi has transformed the holy city into the most important of India's political battlegrounds this election season. Facing off against the Aam Aadmi Party chief Arvind Kejriwal and sitting three-time Congress MLA Ajay Rai, the Varanasi seat is definitely a fight. Modi's choice of constituency is understandable and the fruits of winning impossible to ignore. If Modi wins Varanasi, he gets to take the credit for BJP's revival in Uttar Pradesh. A high-margin win will be a handy message to detractors, including mainly incumbent MP Murli Manohar Joshi, who didn't win big in 2009. And finally, it will be the most thumpingly credible rite of national passage for a prime ministerial nominee.
Modi and the BJP have given subtle hints that he would pick Varanasi over Vadodara if he was to win both seats. The mission now is to be in that coveted spot to be able to make that choice. With camera person Himanshu Sharma reporting from Varanasi, Preeti Chaudhary, Headlines Today.
And Headlines Today's Preeti Chaudhary now joins me live from Varanasi. Preeti, you've been travelling extensively from Ayodhya to Kashi. Now take us through what Modi promises to people of Kashi and what's the impact on ground zero.
Gaurav, to put this in perspective for our viewers, you and I both have been reporting from the streets of Varanasi. Now, the Varanasi voter is one of the most discerning and intelligent voters. They understand that whoever is contesting from there is contesting, when it comes down to Narendra Modi especially, is contesting for the prime ministerial post and not somebody who's a candidate as a constituency. They do think of him as an outsider, but what they are buying off him is the development plan. They hope, everyone we've spoken to hopes that Narendra Modi will bring to Varanasi what he has brought to Gujarat. And that is what people want here. Just about 10 minutes ago, and they're going to put that feed across right now. Already, Gaurav, I'm standing at the first stop. Narendra Modi will start his this mega grand show. Already, Gaurav, wherever we can see, there are people who have just started pouring in here. So, we're going to keep reporting the very latest, but already chants of Modi, the rhetoric of Modi Sarkar rise even before Narendra Modi has landed in the city.
Okay, this city has been decked up. The city is there to welcome Narendra Modi, and he's already given out a vision for Kashi. And first in that is the Ganga action plan. Ganga, he says, is just looking at Ganga gives salvation to people, but that Ganga is dirty today. That needs to be cleaned up. This place needs to be turned into an intellectual and educational hub. There are 3 universities here: the Banaras Hindu University, the Kashi, the Sampurnanand Sanskrit University, and the Mahatma Gandhi Kashi Vidyapeeth. So turn this place into an educational hub, an intellectual hub. Also talk about the weavers industry, unemployment. These are issues that Narendra Modi says he'll talk about, target and sort out. That's one part of the story. Kashi is his family, says Narendra Modi. Now let's take a look at Narendra Modi's extended family. He last met them how long back? Just take a look and find out.
The 2001 family union. The last time the BJP's PM nominee Narendra Modi met his extended family. Shortly after his election victory in Rajkot.
राजकोट का इलेक्शन जीत के आए तब हमारे सब भाई बहन, हमारे लड़के लड़कियां, हमारे दामाद सब साथ में मिले थे. उसके बाद आज तक साथ में मिले नहीं हैं.
A Kodak moment. Seen in this photograph are 4 of Modi's brothers and his only sister along with their mother. While Narendra Modi scaled heights in public life, his family continues to remain in relative anonymity.
हमारे परिवार में आज हमारी माताजी हैं, हम 5 भाई हैं और 1 बहन है.
But it all began with this man in the picture, Damodar Das Modi, the humble tea vendor from Vadnagar. The profession that has become the leitmotif in the BJP's election campaign.
पिताजी एक चाय की किटली चलाते थे रेलवे स्टेशन पर. मौका मिलने पर स्कूल से रिसेस में जो भाई को मौका मिले वो दुकान चला जाता था और पिताजी को धंधे में मदद करते थे. उस टाइम यदि रेल की गाड़ी आ गई हो तो डिब्बे में चाय भी बेचने को जाते थे. नरेंद्र भाई उसमें अव्वल थे. नरेंद्र भाई बचपन में पढ़ने में स्कॉलर थे.
After his father's death in 1988, following bone cancer, Modi set out for his political journey that began with the RSS.
पिताजी के देहांत पर अग्नि संस्कार के वक्त पर नरेंद्र भाई हाजिर रहे थे और अग्नि संस्कार होने के बाद वो गए.
There has been no looking back for this most successful member of the Modi family.
भारत माता की.
While Modi enthralls audiences with his fiery speeches, here's what keeps Modi hooked.
उनको कला का बहुत शौक था. नरेंद्र भाई संगीत प्रेमी है.
Now, as the BJP and Modi set their sights on the highest seat of democracy, the family waits with bated breath for the final verdict.
परिवार तो वही चाहेगा ना, अपना भाई आगे बढ़ता ही जाए, वो एवरेज सर करता जाए.
Bureau Report, headlines today.
What is it that Kashi expects of Narendra Modi? There are a list of issues that Kashi has already listed out. In fact, the Banaras Hindu University has already prepared a roadmap for Narendra Modi should he win elections from Kashi, that at least the BJP claims is a done deal. What are the problems? Well, a dirty Ganga that needs to be cleansed. Unemployment is something that the youth here talk about. Crime, mafia, that's something that's massive. The problems that the weavers face, poor sanitation, bad roads. What's the solution? What's the problem? Let's take a look.
भाजपा को अब रोका नहीं जा सकता, मोदी को रोका नहीं जा सकता.
As the battle for Varanasi heats up, contentious issues are being raised by voters. Not those of communalism and caste, which are so vociferously raised by leaders and which are also probably being delusionally used as a main poll plank by them. The students of BHU urging that issues around caste not be raised, but more about what the leaders can tangibly bring to the table for the development of the constituency. A direct reference of the Congress strategy of fielding Ajay Rai with the Bhumihar issue in mind. The Chaiwalas too pinning their hopes on Modi, riding on the supposed wave as the BJP's prime ministerial nominee has milked his past to weave dreams of people like these.
रोज आएंगे 9 बजे दुकान छोड़ के अपने पिताजी को बैठा के वहाँ चलेंगे 9 बजे 10 बजे आएंगे पता लगा तो 9 बजे निकलेंगे हम भी.
But expecting the realer issues like price rise, infrastructure and power to be resolved. While this is just a mere section, it is a reflection of what the people of Varanasi are expecting of any candidate that comes to power. No politicking, no communalism, but just a real change in the issues that truly impact them. Bureau Report, headlines today.
In about 35 minutes from now, Narendra Modi's helicopter will land at the helipad of the Banaras Hindu University and we will bring you up to speed with all the latest developments.